For our top story this hour, we look at fresh accusations that Facebook is censoring alternative content after the social media site removed a video produced by Double Down News featuring Guardian columnist George Monbiot. In the video, Monbiot busts the myth that European civilization is less barbaric than others, describing the gruesome crimes of the British Empire and Italian explorer Christopher Columbus.
He did there set the pattern for the genocidal extermination of almost all the Native American peoples. 100 million before Columbus made landfall. By the 19th century, that had come down to less than 1 million across the Americas. Overtly endorsed by such revered figures as George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, who wrote about the necessity of wiping out Native American peoples.
Following the news of the video's removal, Double Down tweeted, quote, "Our film on Columbus by George Monbiot has been deleted by Facebook for violating community standards. The film was a serious piece of historical journalism, gaining 1 million views. We were given no right of appeal or exact reason for censorship. Why is Facebook censoring history?" The video's removal came just days after Facebook removed over 800 pages it accused of posting spam, as we've discussed here on RT. Facebook used that opportunity to scrub alternative media sites like police watchdog groups and other sites, as well as a fan page for RT America correspondent Rachel Blevins. Monbiot, the presenter of that video, said of the move, quote, "I thought Facebook's banning of our video about the true nature of colonial history was a one-off, but it seems to be part of an apparent purge of dissenting posts, linking to an article about the site's clampdown on dissenting voices." With Facebook censorship in question once again, we're joined by former UK MP George Galloway. George, now that Facebook's gone after a Guardian columnist, do you think people are going to start paying attention to this story?
Well, it sounds like a great video, and I myself will now go and ensure that I can find it and see it somewhere. The book they try to ban always goes to the top of the bestseller list, so hopefully this will backfire on Facebook. I myself have well over 1 million followers on social media, nearly 1.5 million actually, and I always thought that because I'm pretty well known and I have so many followers, I myself would be invulnerable to this kind of thing. But George Monbiot is a pretty famous guy, actually, and he's kind of an insider in the British establishment in a way that I am not. And it's now happened to him. It is quite intolerable, really, that Facebook, a private company, can take an obviously anti-commercial decision. If it had 1 million views, that's a commercial hit, an anti-commercial decision based on the political view of censoring history. And actually, I've always known that British imperial history is censored from school days onwards.
Yeah.
We're taught all about the crimes of Stalin, the crimes of Hitler, but we're never told about the crimes of British imperialism.
Well, that's an irony that Monbiot's touched on himself, saying the point of the video was to talk about how this history has been censored from mainstream discourse, and yet Facebook goes ahead and censors it all over again. Why is that? I mean, what do you think is so offensive about these historical points?
Well, I mean, some of these will be accidents, as it were. Some machine or some factotum somewhere striking something down that casts an unfortunate light on the proprietors, and it may even be reinstated. But the general pattern seems to be that Facebook has become an adjunct of the deep state in Britain, in the United States, and elsewhere. And that deep state is bent on suppressing dissident views. And therefore opening up, one hopes, if capitalism works as they claim that it works, space for new Facebooks to come online. Because after all, what is Facebook? It's just a notice board on which people can write. And so I hope that the laws of commercial reality will reassert themselves, and people will know that if there's 1 million viewers for Monbiot's video, that's a market, apart from being an audience. We'll have to wait and see what emerges.
I know you have a lot to say about this topic, so I want to give you the opportunity to highlight some of the crimes of Western civilization or the British Empire that you think are overlooked.
Well, the one that you've just played about the massacre of the best part of 100 million Native Americans is pretty hard to beat. I mean, that is a Holocaust with a double capital H. But the British Empire was committing crimes well into my own lifetime. We were shooting down Yemenis in Aden in the Crater district when the Beatles were #1 in the hit parade. We were shooting down Irish people on the streets of the 6 counties in the north of Ireland when the Beatles were already several years dead, many, more than a decade dead. So British imperial crimes are almost without number. My Irish grandfather used to say that God would never trust the British in the dark because the sun never set on the British Empire, because God would never trust the British in the dark. And he was right about that. And the crimes of the British Empire continue and to this day. There are crimes being committed in Yemen today with the collaboration, facilitation of British imperial policy. Crimes being committed in Syria with the collaboration, facilitation of the remnants of the British Empire. But the Kenyan examples that Monbiot goes into apparently in this video are really quite extraordinary. Kenya and Malaya, we were paying British servicemen a bounty for coming in with the heads of rebels in their hands, the severed heads of rebels who were fighting for their own country's freedom from the British Empire. They talk about savages.
I've heard you mention that quote from your grandfather before, that the sun never sets in the British Empire because God would never trust the British in the dark. It's a very good one, sums up exactly what we've just been discussing here. So former UK MP George Galloway, we appreciate your time this afternoon.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.